Michelangelo Buonarroti, a defining figure of the Renaissance, left an indelible mark on art and culture. Beyond his renowned works like the David and the Sistine Chapel ceiling, his life was filled with fascinating stories, struggles, and achievements. Here are 10 surprising facts that reveal the man behind the masterpieces. 1. Master of hidden anatomy. Michelangelo's obsession with human anatomy began early in his career. He performed dissections on cadavers at the Santo Spirito convent in Florence, an unusual and controversial practice at the time. In exchange for his work crafting a crucifix for the convent, he was granted access to study corpses. This experience gave him an unparalleled understanding of the human body, visible in the lifelike precision of his sculptures and paintings. Works like David and the Sistine Chapel ceiling showcase his ability to portray muscle, bone structure, and motion with astonishing realism. This devotion to anatomy was not just about achieving perfection in art, but also a reflection of his fascination with human life, strength, and fragility. 2. The only known self-portrait. Michelangelo rarely included himself in his works, making his hidden self-portrait in the Last Judgment at the Sistine Chapel particularly intriguing. He depicted his face on the flayed skin held by Saint Bartholomew, creating an image laden with symbolic meaning. Art historians interpret this as a reflection of his struggles, both personal and professional, as well as a meditation on mortality and redemption. This unconventional self-representation captures Michelangelo's introspection and his connection to themes of suffering, transformation, and spiritual transcendence. 3. Rivalry with Leonardo da Vinci. Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci, two titans of the Renaissance, shared a tense rivalry. While both reached the pinnacle of artistic mastery, their personalities and approaches to art starkly contrasted. Michelangelo was deeply focused on sculpture and anatomy, while Leonardo's curiosity spanned disciplines from engineering to botany. Their competition became especially intense in Florence, where they were commissioned to paint opposing murals in the Palazzo Vecchio, projects that were never completed. Despite their differences, their rivalry pushed both to achieve greater heights, leaving a legacy that continues to inspire the art world. 4. David's unexpected home. Michelangelo's David was initially commissioned to adorn the buttresses of Florence Cathedral as part of a series of statues of biblical prophets. However, the colossal masterpiece, completed in 1504, was deemed too extraordinary to be placed high above the ground. A committee, including Leonardo da Vinci, decided to display David in front of the Palazzo della Signoria, the political heart of Florence. This location allowed the sculpture to become a symbol of Florentine strength and independence, embodying the ideals of the Renaissance and cementing its status as one of the most iconic works of art in history. 5. Reluctance to paint the Sistine Chapel ceiling. Despite his unparalleled success with the Sistine Chapel ceiling, Michelangelo initially resisted the project. Commissioned by Pope Julius II in 1508, Michelangelo considered himself primarily a sculptor and was reluctant to take on such an immense painting task. 6th. Pioneer of nonfinito, Michelangelo developed the nonfinito, unfinished style, intentionally leaving parts of his sculptures incomplete. This technique is most famously seen in his Slave series, originally intended for Pope Julius II's tomb. The partially carved figures seem to emerge from the marble, symbolizing the human struggle for liberation and transcendence. Michelangelo believed that the block of stone already contained the figure within it, and that his role was to free it. The nonfinito works reflect his view of art as a process and his philosophical musings on the imperfect nature of human existence. 7. Michelangelo the poet. While renowned for his visual art, Michelangelo was also a prolific poet, composing over 300 sonnets and madrigals. His verses explore themes of love, faith, mortality, and artistic passion. Often deeply personal, his poetry provides insight into his internal struggles and spiritual reflections. Michelangelo's writings demonstrate his multifaceted genius, blending art and literature to express the profound questions of life, death, and the divine. 8. A solitary genius. Michelangelo Buonarroti celebrated as one of the greatest artists of all time, was also known for his marked tendency towards solitude and his preference for working independently. Despite occasionally collaborating with assistants, Michelangelo maintained a firm belief in his artistic vision and rarely allowed others to interfere with his process. This unwavering commitment often led him to revise or undo work completed by others on projects under his direction, reflecting both his pursuit of perfection and his deeply personal connection to his art. Michelangelo's isolation extended beyond his studio. Known for his reclusive lifestyle, he often avoided social engagements and maintained few close relationships. His dedication to his craft was so intense that he sometimes worked for days on end with little rest. Stories claim that he even slept in his boots, emphasizing his relentless focus on creation. This lifestyle may have seemed extreme, but it was central to his artistic philosophy. True art, in his eyes, could only emerge from a deep, unshared connection between the artist and his work. 9. Michelangelo, the poet. Though Michelangelo is best known for his sculptures, paintings, and architectural achievements, his poetry offers a profound insight into his inner world. Over his lifetime, he composed more than 300 poems, including sonnets and madrigals. These works reveal the artist's struggles, passions, and deep spirituality, presenting a deeply personal side often hidden behind the grandeur of his visual masterpieces. Michelangelo's poetry explored themes of love, mortality, beauty, and faith. Many of his verses reflect his longing for divine connection and his constant pursuit of perfection. His writings are deeply introspective, addressing God, friends, and imagined lovers with raw honesty and emotional intensity. Through his poems, Michelangelo expressed the vulnerability and humanity that complemented his artistic genius. 10th. Pioneer of nonfinito. One of Michelangelo's most innovative contributions to art was his embrace of the nonfinito technique, which translates to unfinished. This method, in which sculptures are intentionally left incomplete, became a hallmark of his later works. Rather than viewing an unfinished piece as a failure, Michelangelo used nonfinito to convey dramatic tension, latent energy, and the creation process itself. Michelangelo's nonfinito works, such as the Slaves or Prisoners, intended for the tomb of Pope Julius II, showcase figures seemingly emerging from their marble prisons. These sculptures evoke a powerful sense of struggle, symbolizing the human spirit's constant battle to transcend earthly limitations. The incomplete forms invite viewers to engage their imaginations, interpreting what lies beneath the raw stone and contemplating the eternal process of creation. This approach also reflected Michelangelo's philosophy of art. He believed that the figure already existed within the marble, and that his role as a sculptor was to free it. Leaving parts of the sculpture unfinished symbolized the ongoing journey of both artistic creation and human self-realization. For Michelangelo, nonfinito was not a limitation but an opportunity to communicate the complexity and imperfection of existence. Michelangelo Buonarroti's life and work reveal a man of immense talent, unyielding dedication, and profound depth. From his fascination with anatomy to his poetic musings and groundbreaking artistic techniques, Michelangelo's legacy continues to captivate and inspire. His genius reminds us of the boundless possibilities of human creativity and the enduring power of art to explore the mysteries of existence. Which of these facts surprised you the most? Share your thoughts and continue exploring the world of art and history.